Yeah, twice a day, every day.
Get Maclean's Fresh Gel Toothpaste today. Now available in brand new packs of 140 grams for only 250 naira and 50 grams for only 140 naira.
Freedom. Pop. Freedom. 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 Freedom.
Freedom Radio.
This is Freedom Global News.
President Muhammadu Buhari appeals to ASU, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, to call off strike. Kano State Governor swears in 4 new permanent secretaries. The federal government directs Godwin Emefiele and other public office holders with political ambition to resign.
Global News.
And on the foreign scene, Guinea announces 3-year transition period before restoring civilian rule.
This is Freedom Global News.
Good evening, you listen to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. I am Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Today is the 12th of May 2022, which is equivalent to the 11th of Shawwal 1443 after Hijri. And now the news in full. President Muhammadu Buhari has appealed to the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, to call off the ongoing strike in the interests of students. The president made the appeal today at the 19th National Productivity Day and the conferment of the National Productivity Order of Merit Award on 48 eminent Nigerians and organizations in both the public and private sectors for their high productivity, hard work, and excellence. President Buhari, who urged ASU to consider the plight of students, also urged students in public tertiary institutions to be patient. He said the government had continued to thrive in order to address the nagging issues in the nation's university system within the ambit of the resources available. The president, in a statement issued by his spokesman Femi Adesina, recalled that he had earlier directed the Chief of Staff, Ministers of Labour and Employment, Education, Finance, Budget and National Planning to immediately bring all parties to the negotiation table to again critically look at the grey areas in the demands of ASU and, in fact, all of the university-based labour unions. President Buhari, while speaking on the theme of this year's celebration, achieving higher productivity through improved education system, promised that the federal government would continue to do everything possible to uplift the standard of the educational system in the country. He said its administration recognized that the future of any nation was contingent on the standard of its educational system. Meanwhile, a civil rights organization under the aegis of Global Youth Skills Acquisition and Poverty Eradication Organization said the federal government should address its face-off with Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, before the 2023 elections to avoid bloodshed among students. While warning that students could be used for election violence and thuggery, the organization said the advice became serious because an idle mind could easily get involved. The chairman of the GSAPO and human rights activist Emmanuel Ozegbe, who sounded the warning during a press conference in Abuja, said a resolution of the impasse between the government and ASU would return students to schools ahead of elections. Kano State Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje has sworn in 4 new permanent secretaries. The permanent secretaries that were sworn in today at the State Executive Council meeting are Engineer Shehu Muhammad Bello, Miro Audi Ambata, Bilyamina Gambo Zabar, and Magaji Lawan BBG. The governor urged them to ensure they are implementers of government policies and ensure they take their ministries to the next level.
civil servants, they do retire as a result of age or length of service. So we have permanent secretaries who have retired, and there is need for replacement in order to energize the civil service. How motivation can be instilled in the civil service so that people will be have high achievement motive.
We apologize for the technical difficulties. On the sporting arena, world governing body FIFA has launched disciplinary proceedings after Ecuador were alleged to have fielded an ineligible player during their successful qualifying campaign for the Qatar 2022 World Cup. Correspondent Aisha Muhammad Eliman has details of this and other sports updates.
Chile, who failed to reach the showpiece in Qatar later this year, lodged a complaint with Football World Governing Body FIFA, alleging that fullback Brian Castillo was not a Ecuadorian and was born in Colombia. The Football Federation of Chile alleged the use of fake birth certificate, false declaration of age and false nationality. The 23-year-old played in 8 qualifiers, including both of Edicado matches against Chile. The club 36th league crown is the third in charge for outgoing coach Erik ten Hag, who will end his tenure at the end of the season to become the Manchester United manager. In another development, Namibia will host the Council of Southern African Football Association on 14th May, at which members will elect a new leadership. Both the FIFA Nominalization Committee chairperson BC Irab and the deputy Afra Shimin Chase will represent Namibia with voting powers to influence the outcome of the elective congress. During a press conference held at the NFA Scara House, Irab announced that the 2021 COSAFU Elective General Assembly will be graced by the Confederation of African Football. And on tennis, the 2022 edition of the Central Bank of Nigeria sponsored Senior Open Tennis Championship will begin tomorrow at the tennis complex, Package A of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. Director Corporate Communication Department (CBN), Ositan Wanisubi, said the final of the announcement tournament play on a court. Said the final of the annual tournament played on the hard court will be held on Saturday, May 21st at the same venue. Aisha Muhammad Eleman, Freedom Radio.
The global news is coming to you from Freedom Radio 99.5 FM. You can send your comments, opinions, and watch us live on Freedom Radio Nigeria on Facebook.com. You can get the link to the page on our website, freedomradionig.com. Welcome back. You're still listening to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. President Muhammadu Buhari has directed all public office holders wishing to contest positions in the 2023 general polls to quit their current posts. It could be recalled that the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, recently lost a bid from the court to shield him from being disqualified to contest for the presidential ticket of any political party ahead of the 2023 general election. Emefiele's lawyer, Mike Ozokome, had urged the court to issue an interim order stopping the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the Attorney General of the Federation from disqualifying him from participating in the primary election of his preferred political party. President Buhari gave the directive in a circular issued yesterday in Abuja by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa. Boss Mustafa said the President had observed and noted the expression of interest and intention by some members of the Federal Executive Council, heads of extra-ministerial departments, agencies, parastatal agencies of government, and ambassadors. Consequently, the President has directed that the affected office holders aspiring to run for various offices in the 2023 general elections should tender their resignation on or before May 16th. On business, Muhammad Abba Abdullahi has updates.
The Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) and the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS) have set up a joint committee to enhance national revenue in the telecom sector. In a statement signed by its Director of Public Affairs, Dr. Ikechukwu Adinde, announced yesterday that the committee comprises of 6 officials of NCC and 11 officials of FIRS. Adinde stated that the collaboration of the NCC and the FIRS are acknowledged pivotal to the achievement of sustainable revenue and growth projects of the federal government. He noted that the telecom sector has sustained a relatively high contribution to gross domestic product (GDP) over the year ending fourth quarter of 2021 at 12.6%. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Identity Management Commission (NIMC) has issued 80.7 million National Identification Number (NIN) exactly 19 days after the agency deactivated about 72 million telecommunication subscribers for failing to comply with the federal government NIN subscriber identity model policy. The data on Commission's registrations portal showed that 125 million subscribers has linked their NINs to their SIMs, while 78 million NINs had been issued. The Association of Licensed Telecoms Operators of Nigeria, Gabenga Adebayo, in an interview with journalists, stated that more subscribers had since submitted their NIN for linkage. Muhammad Abba Abdullahi, Freedom Radio.
And on the foreign scene, Guinea has announced a 36-month transition period to civilian rule, slightly shorter than what had been proposed by the military chief, but longer than the regional leaders have called for. The National Transition Council, CNT, yesterday debated and approved a 36-month timetable presented by the National Rallying Committee for Development, set up by the junta and headed by military leader Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya. The CNT established to act as parliamentary until elections are called. Out of 81 members, 73 voted for the text, 1 was absent, 3 abstained, and 4 left the chamber in protest. The transition period is slightly shorter than the 36 months that Doumbouya had announced earlier this month. Doumbouya led a coup last September to oust President Alpha Conde, who had pushed through a new constitution in 2020 that allowed him to run for a third presidential term. Following the coup, the West African bloc ECOWAS suspended Guinea, imposed sanctions, and called for a return to civilian rule within 6 months. The bloc warned that sanctions could be widened beyond those imposed on the junta members if the interim government drags its feet. And with this, we've come to the end of today's global news. But before we go, highlights of the major stories. President Muhammadu Buhari has appealed to the Academic Staff Union of Universities to call off the ongoing strike in the interest of students. President Muhammadu Buhari has also directed all public office holders wishing to contest positions in the 2023 general polls to quit their current positions. And on the foreign scene, Guinea has announced a 36-month transition period to civilian rule, slightly shorter than what had been proposed by the military chief, but longer than regional leaders have called for. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Have a wonderful evening.
Freedom.